was fun doing a horror movie with like, monsters and things like that. Did you get to keep any souvenirs from the shoot, like any monster memorabilia or things like that to remember your time at Reed's Point?
I have my hair extensions.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, I'm sure they have a little bit of blood in them. I gotta wash them out, but I have my hair extensions, I guess.
I don't think you should wash them out. I think you should keep them.
I know, I should like maybe frame them. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watch Our Past. Today I'm joined by Madison Ekstrand, who plays Kelsey in Reed's Point, which is coming to DVD and digital on April 12th, 2022. We're going to talk to her right now, and while you're watching, if you could like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll spend a lot. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining me. This is Madison Ekstrand, who plays Kelsey in Reed's Point, which is coming to DVD and digital on April 12th, 2022. It is a cryptid-based horror film. I know it's like your first, I guess, feature film. You've done shorts and TV series before. This is your first feature film. So I guess the first question is, what was it like? What was it like being your first feature? How was that?
It was actually not too different, but very different. you know,
Nice and big.
You're on a bigger set, you have more of a cast, and you have to learn how to work with more people, and it's just a whole different environment.
Yeah, I feel like the I don't know, maybe the time commitment, right, is probably different, right? If you're doing a TV series or you're doing a short, you're like, okay, well, that's a week, a couple days, and then after that I can go think about something else. But this probably requires a lot more overall time and planning. So that must have been
for sure, yeah.
Good, bad, right? I guess. So yeah, I guess were there any challenges that you had? It sounds like it was a good experience overall. Were there any challenges you had kind of adapting to like a longer shooting format, or was it just basically the same thing you had been doing except now just a longer period of time?
I would say the night shoots on the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. those start to tend to get a little rough sometimes, but everyone starts getting all crazy because we're all overly tired, but we all pushed through it, and it turned out to be a lot of fun from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. surprisingly.
Yeah, that sounds rough. Like I imagine it's a lot of fun, and then at some point everyone gets really tired, and then you get your second win, and then you're like, this is great, and then you just collapse.
A lot of coffee on set.
Yeah, for sure. I talked to one film that had like a lot of night shoots in the wilderness, and they were like, it was challenging because we kept falling down and getting scrapes and bumps because it was so dark. But then it just made everything look more realistic. So I wonder if that was also similar for you.
I've actually ran in the woods for Reed's Point, and it was on a kind of a cliffy hill.
Ooh.
And it was in the middle of the night, and it wasn't lit up that well because, of course you wanted like a darker shot. And I was afraid I'm going to roll my ankle. And then they're like, action. And I'm like trying to book it, but trying to make sure I'm not going to trip over anything.
Yeah, it's very, very tough, right? Very, very competing feelings. You want to make it look real, but you also want to make sure you don't get hurt because for your personal safety and also for the film, right? If you get hurt, then that could affect schedules. So yeah, that's exciting. And it seems like at least everything seems okay. Or maybe that was just movie magic when they cut in wherever you fell, like everything turned out okay from that.
Oh yeah, everything's fine. I did get my back scraped up when I was being dragged on the ground, but it was like little cuts. I'm fine. I survived, so.
Yeah, they give you character, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was bragging on set that I did my own stunts. Oh, and then that day they went, okay, well, you're being dragged on the ground today. So
that's one of those like be careful what you wish for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I talked to Sasha on earlier. This was kind of filmed sort of during, like, it was filmed kind of in the middle of the pandemic, like sort of when it felt like things were getting better, but still we were in that kind of unknown period. Is that about when it was filmed?
I would say so, yeah.
And what was that like for you? I mean, was this your first kind of pandemic film, or had you done other work before? What was it like kind of signing on with that?
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts, so feel free to talk on over.
So my short films were, gosh, a year, 2 years ago in August, when COVID first was happening. We had to wear the mask and everything. So I kind of knew the precautions and what I needed to do on set and the mask, everything. So I was pretty set on that.
Awesome. So yeah, this was you're kind of an old hat at this, right?
I'm a veteran. That's a
And for those short films and the series, I guess, or for like I guess the series, did you film any series during pandemic? Did they kind of try to do them all at the same time just to make sure that they would have everyone and wouldn't have to like restart up COVID protocols, or was it, or would you only do short films since the pandemic started?
I've done 3 short films, a music video, and then the feature film. And this was all during COVID, and that's basically when I started my acting career and starting to get out there. So I don't know what it's like when it's not COVID.
I love that. Some people like baked bread, or some people, start a blog. You're like, I'm going to become an actor. Why not? That's awesome. Though. I mean, I know how difficult it has been. Just the market. It's been kind of all over the place. Some people have had very good luck. Some people have kind of not had a ton of luck. So I'm glad to hear that you were able to find work and, I guess blossom in a career during this period. That's fantastic news.
Thank you.
And I guess another question is, this film had like a pretty small overall set, right? Like a pretty small number of actors. I imagine you probably formed pretty close bonds. What was it like working with them? I mean, was it a lot of fun? Was it challenging? Maybe all of the above. Maybe it was a little bit of everything.
It's all the above. I mean, when you're in the middle of the night and sets and everything, everyone's getting crabby. You're like siblings at this point, and then we just all laugh, have fun, and it was just a really chill set.
Yeah, well, that makes sense that you're like siblings because you kind of played somewhat siblings in the film. So I guess that's just really good for your acting. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, did you have any like fun stories from set? Any interesting encounters or things like that? Or I imagine that maybe it's just all a blur because it was all late at night and tough to see.
Well, then definitely the stunt thing, because Evan Adams, he played Alex in the thing, and that day he rolled down the hill for his stunt because we all did our own stunts. And then that's when I started bragging, oh yeah, I do my own stunts too. And then they're like, okay, you're being dragged.
There you go.
I'm like, okay, I really do my own stunts.
Yeah, well, they're like, well, put your money where your mouth is.
I know, yeah.
I didn't realize, so I guess that makes sense because it's a movie. I didn't realize that he was the one that rolled down the hill. That could be fun, but looked pretty dangerous. So I'm glad that everything was fine there.
Yeah, he has a chip on his shoulder from that now. So
like an actual chip, like something chipped on his shoulder. So
I think both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always fun doing a horror movie with like monsters and things like that. Did you get to keep any souvenirs from the shoot, like any monster memorabilia or things like that to remember your time at Reed's Point?
I have my hair extensions.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, I'm sure they have a little bit of blood in them. I gotta wash them out, but I have my hair extensions, I guess.
I don't think you should wash them out. I think you should keep them.
I know. I should like maybe frame them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think people would walk in the house and be kind of like, why do you have hair framed and it's bloody? And
all you gotta do is just say, wait for it. You'll know in like 5 years and I'm a big star. You'll know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Get one of those, model heads and like a plexiglass box and save that as your first it's your first feature.
That's actually a good idea. I never thought of that.
Start building your movie memorabilia. And speaking of memorabilia, I see the poster behind you. Are you going to get like a Reed's Point poster up there too, or is that
this is actually, I'm at Suzanne DeLaurentiis. She's a producer, and she did this. She was a producer for this film. So, but I do have the Curse of Stonehill. I have that big poster at my house, and Michael Pare actually signed it. And I was fangirling because he said to my favorite co-star, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really cool. I love that. I love that when I finally get an IMDb credit at some point, I guess I missed my chance during the pandemic. I will definitely have that poster framed. I will try to get someone to sign it. So.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Awesome. So I know you have limited time, so I'm going to switch. I call it the lightning round. They're just really lightweight questions about the film. I want to see how your personal experiences map to things that happen in the film. You can feel free not to answer any of them. I will not be offended, but I try to keep them very answerable. The first question is: this film had like an interesting scene in a diner, and I was like, oh, a diner. I remember going to those. That was a time. When was the last time you were actually in a diner? Other than, well, actually, you weren't in that scene anyways. But when was the last time you actually went to a diner?
Actually, I was in that scene. I was an extra.
Oh, there we go.
And I was wearing a black wig.
Movie
So
magic.
now every time I watch that scene, I'm like, there I am, But actually, the last time I've actually been in a diner was probably a couple of years ago. Last time I went to New Jersey with my family because they have diners everywhere in New Jersey. So I think that was probably the last time.
Oh, that makes sense that the film that's kind of based on New Jersey would have that as well. That makes sense. Have you ever stayed in an RV?
I stayed at a camper.
Okay, perfect.
I used to go camping as a kid, and we had we called it glamping, my family and I, because we had the big camper, and it wasn't like normal camping. We were glamping it up.
Yeah, no, I know that actually feels very kind of ahead of its time, because I feel like that term has taken on more like a more common understanding recently. So maybe it sounds like y'all were trendsetters back then.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think so. Everyone started copping glamping after my childhood. So
There you go. You should, if only you had a social media presence then, you'd be even bigger now, right?
I know. I should have started the glamping trend.
Live and learn, live and learn. I should
I
have bought
know.
Bitcoin, right? You never know. Have you or your family ever had like a land dispute? I mean, I guess maybe with your neighbors or something along those lines. I have no idea. It was a prominent part of this film, so I was curious.
So I live in Wisconsin.
Okay.
In the middle of nowhere.
So
And my actual neighbors are like so sweet. So there would never be a feud or anything.
yeah, there's so much land. You're just like, I don't know, it's somewhere over there, and we'll just agree to disagree.
There'd be like, oh yeah, you can go in the field. It's my field technically, but we don't care.
Yeah.
That's basically how it is.
That sounds lovely, and that sounds like a way that they could have resolved the issues in Reed's Point much more amicably than what actually occurred. So
They really could have just solved the problem.
and in this film, Sasha Ann's character is a reporter. Have you ever been a reporter on either like for a newspaper or school newspaper, or even like some sort of investigative blog, anything like that?
No, but I really wish I was. I mean, sophomore year, I went online for high school and everything, and I'm freshman in college now, and I'm still online. But I think I'd be a good reporter.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to like dig in and really get to the meat of a mystery, right? Like that's something everyone kind of wants to do. But so yeah, there's still time, right? You're a freshman in college. You still have plenty of time.
I know, but I'm already double majoring. I don't know. I got so much on my plate right now.
That's valid. Double majoring and having an acting career. I'll give you a pass on this, but maybe after college, maybe you can start your investigative blog as well.
Well, for sure. I mean, I've always thought about being a detective too, but that's only because I've been watching those cop shows lately, and I think I can do it.
I hope you watch.
I'm sure I'll watch a new show and be like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, the Halo show premieres today, so you could be, maybe you'll be a space marine. Who knows?
Oh yeah, never know.
And I'm sure that those cop shows were good for like planning for this movie, right? To kind of get some of the criminal nuances that were occurring in this film.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would know what happened. I'd be like, yeah, you should have done that. So yeah.
Have you ever gone to investigate like a strange occurrence? Not like from a reporter kind of thing, but have you ever been like somewhere and you hear a sound out in the distance, or like, I don't know, you see something weird going on, so you go to kind of inspect and see what's happening?
Okay. I'm probably like the most scaredy cat ever. We're at like night shoots. Even when I'm around people, I'd be like, you hear that? What was that? Oh, it was a coyote. Oh, okay. I was like, did everyone else hear that? I mean, making sure I didn't just hear that. So I'm probably the most scared person ever, even when I watch horror movies. And I know everything's fake, even like from being on the other side of the camera. I'm just still scared of everything.
2 points. One, that is the correct feeling to have. I'm glad that you have self-preservation in mind. Sasha Ann said the same thing. She's like, I'm super scared too, so like I wouldn't go to investigate. So it sounds like you both have the right idea. Two, I watch a ton of horror movies. I still jump at every jump scare. Like it's just how I am, and I watch a lot of horror, so it's still fun. It's natural. This next question, it sounds like this happened while you were filming. Have you ever encountered like wild animals?
Yes.
Like coyotes.
Coyotes. It was a night shoot. We were in a park and we saw coyotes. Everyone started freaking out at first. Then I'm like, oh yeah, those are coyotes, not like a wolf or anything. Or I'm from Wisconsin. I'm like, guys, that's nothing.
Yep. And then when you're actually in the thick of it, you're like, oh, here's what's happening.
And in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I hope the coyotes don't come down any further because I'm actually kind of scared.
I'm glad you had a strong front though. That's important. It's important for
I
the
try, I
morale.
try.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm from Wisconsin, so I kind of have to put up a front. Everyone like, oh, did you see that deer? And I'm like, yeah, that's normal. I see that every single day.
Like, what, that deer? It's eating our crops. Let's go get it. Um, so you mentioned glamping. When was the last time you were camping or glamping?
Oh gosh, like maybe I was 9, 10.
There we go. Time to bring it back, right? This is the perfect time to
We
to
sold our
re-up.
camper actually,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I would be down to just pitch a tent and camp.
There you go. And just make sure not to investigate any of those noises you hear outside. They're all
No,
noise.
I'd have earplugs in, and if I hear noise, I'll go in the house or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be done.
Makes perfect sense. Now, this film deals with a cryptid, the Jersey Devil. When you were growing up in your town or in your area, were there any prominent like cryptids or urban legends that you all heard about, maybe investigated?
Not really, but I remember Mothman.
Hmm.
I remember, I don't know if it's like in Wisconsin area, but I remember my sister and I were deathly afraid of that guy. I don't remember. I think he's just a Mothman. I totally forget like what his MO is. But I just remember my sister and I being deathly afraid of him. And every time we see a moth, we'd be like, oh my God, I hope that doesn't grow into a man. So
That's the correct inclination. I mean, the movie came out probably when you were young, or maybe it was already out when you were young. So that probably helps to hyping up the legend, hype the scares. I'm trying to remember where Mothman is. I should know this, but I think it's in the Pacific Northwest, but I am not certain. So I think you're safe.
okay. I thank God,
Yeah.
because I definitely probably cry if I saw something like that.
That's the correct reaction if you see Mothman. Although I think he generally tries to warn of bad things happening, so maybe he's okay.
Okay.
And I guess, have you? I think I know the answer to this, but have you ever encountered a cryptid? Have you ever seen a cryptid?
No, I haven't, but my parents actually brought us into the woods, the Pine Barrens where the Jersey Devil supposedly is. And I was in the back of the car, and my sister, my two sisters, and my sister's boyfriend were in the middle. And of course, I was scared and everyone was talking about it. So I literally crawled in the middle seat with them, and I just like curled up next to them because I was so scared of the New Jersey Devil.
Oh, your parents must have been having a lot of fun.
Yeah, next time we go to Jersey, my mom said we're definitely going to drive through them again. So
There you go. And
yeah.
it builds character. And look, maybe that is what propelled you to play this character in Reed's Point. So there's a nice through line from your childhood trauma to your acting success.
Definitely interested me because the New Jersey Devil, and you don't hear about it much really, and you don't see a lot of movies or short films about it. So I was like very excited to do this film.
Yeah, for sure. I think the internet has helped with cryptid popularity, but the Jersey Devil is definitely not like one of the main ones, right? Like Sasquatch or Loch Ness or even Mothman. But yeah, it's a prominent legend, and now there's a new movie about it. The film is out on DVD and digital on April 12th, 2022. You're out promoting the film, getting the word out. Is there anything else that people can look for after they see you in Reed's Point? Are there any other projects you have on the horizon, or are you just focusing on school and trying to get through that?
I actually just had a short part in, it's called On All Fours. It's a pilot episode, and it's a comedy, and it's completely different because I've just done horror and everything. And I think I might be a comedy queen one day. You never know.
Hey, you know what? Scream Queen is good. Comedy Queen is good. Just as long as you're out there having fun and acting, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. So thanks so much for joining me. This is Madison Ekstrand, who plays Kelsey in Reed's Point, which comes to theaters, or it comes to DVD and digital on April 12th, 2022. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. That was Madison Ekstrand, who plays Kelsey in Reed's Point. It's a cryptid horror film that is Madison's feature debut, and it's coming to DVD and digital on April 12th, 2022. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. And please check out my other content. I have a review up. I have an interview with Sasha Ann, who is Madison's co-star in this film. And I also have other interviews, reviews, movie recommendations, and unboxing videos. Thank you.